Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Born Free here. NCR is over and I'm editing the first video in the hotel lobby waiting for my plane at 10:30 p.m. I'm taking the red eye back to New York. I wanted to thank you. It's the first time I've done this in a video. You funded me for NCR in 3.5 hours. I know it was really late notice. It was on the Wednesday. I was told by all of my friends, you are dreaming, it will never happen. It will take at least a week if it will happen at all. And you guys proved them wrong. And the next morning I was on a plane. This came at a time when, you know, I was feeling the negativity of the FGC, really. It's a lot of infighting going on at the moment, just a lot of stuff. And this was a really positive, heartwarming and inspirational moment for me. It truly was. And so in turn, I've worked my ass off and I've got you a lot of interviews, which I'll be releasing over the next, I guess, 2 weeks. Now, if you enjoy those videos and you want to get me to Combo Breaker to do even more, that'll be at the end of May. I'll be covering even more games. Check out the GoFundMe link below and consider donating. I'd already made it a stretch goal, so I'm kind of almost there, actually. So check it out. I'm going to talk to Disco Vigilante, the Japanese translator with the little notebook. He's one of the best in the FGC, if not the best. And I'd love to get him to Combo Breaker to make things much easier, simpler and more efficient in regards to getting interviews with the Japanese. Usually I just rely on the kindness of strangers, but I would love to get him there. My Patreon link is also below if you want to help me on a more regular basis. And if you enjoy the video, please give it a like. It really helps with its prominence on YouTube. And that's it. I'm blown away by the support and I really hope you enjoy the videos. Thanks a lot, guys. Hey guys, welcome back to my channel. It's Born Free here, and I am here with Supernoon.
What up, guys?
Supernoon just recently won the Wednesday Night Fights Dragon Ball. I guess it's the first season, is it?
Yeah, the first season for Wednesday Night Fights. It's like the winter season. They do it by like seasons, actual like winter, spring, all that kind of stuff.
Well, congratulations.
Yeah, thanks.
So, first question for you is, where does the name Supernoon come from? What does it mean? Where does it come from?
It's actually a typo. So, I went to Super Arcade when I was like 11 years old. And when I was signing up at the counter, I forgot who it was, but they wrote, I was supposed to enter as Super Noob.
Super Noob?
Super Noob. Yeah, like noob. And, because it was one of those moments where I went to a tournament and it was like, oh, you need a name. And I was like, oh man, like I had no idea what I was going to sign up as. I was like, oh, I suck. Well, I'm new. So Super Noob, right? And whoever called my name wrote it down as Supernoon, and then I ended up getting like second or third at that tournament, so I just kept it.
So your real name is Super Noob?
Yeah, that's the like original name, but everything I have has always been under Supernoon because I didn't have like a Twitter or anything at the time.
Yeah. So
like after that, like Supernoon just stuck around because everyone just called me that.
Oh wow! All right, so tell me a little bit about yourself. So where are you from? What was the first fighting game you played? And when did you start getting serious about fighting games?
I'm from Los Angeles, California, born and raised. And the first fighting game I played was Marvel 2, actually. Yeah, I used to go to an arcade in Eagle Rock, California, which is kind of close to where I'm from Highland Park. And I would play it. They had like the giant like podium set up, so everyone would always gather around and just play in the arcades there. So the first fighting game I took seriously was Ultimate Marvel 3.
Okay.
Yeah, so I started playing it around like around Evo 2012. Like I watched that whole tournament. I was just like, yeah, like I want to get serious. And then I attended my first Evo in 2014. That was the first like tournament I went to. There was like my first major, pretty much. And I made it up. I think I made top 64 that year.
Oh wow.
Yeah, so that was my first year, and then every year I did better and better.
So what's been your shining moment? What's been your proudest moment so far in fighting games?
I would say there hasn't been like one moment that just stands out to me, but I'd say when because I didn't get to travel that much during Marvel 3, but my best performance I think overall was CEO 2017. I got third, and I beat a lot of strong players. I beat like Ray, F-Champ, and I did pretty well against Ryan LV and Chris G. But yeah, I would say that's my best moment so far.
Okay, and did you play MVCI?
Yeah. So MVCI, I'm still playing it. I'm in top 8 winners this weekend.
Okay.
Yeah, so I'm still playing it. I play it whenever we have a tournament at Wednesday night fights, but I'd say in SoCal it's pretty hard right now to train in terms of tournaments. So I play online a lot with people I know.
All right, yeah, no, it is. I'm sure it's tough with Marvel. So let's talk about Dragon Ball because that's the big game right now. You made it into
Top 16 winners.
Top 16 winners. Okay, so who are you playing next?
I play Chris G.
Okay, by the time this goes out, everyone will know what's happened. So So good luck with that.
Capable character in the game. It's still not a great situation for Supernoon.
Trying to stop him, catch him low.
A lot of Kid Boo's mix-ups depend upon both Cell and Vegeta assists.
Great job of Chris.
That seldom seen 18 command grab.
Yeah, waiting until he only has one character left.
Oh, with the down tag, just hitting buttons.
Supernoon's gonna side switch as well. We're gonna see a level 3 spin.
Yes, we are. Supernoon not ready to go down yet.
So we're at 18. Remember, next match wins. This is still 2 out of 3 territory to see who gets into losers finals. Change of scenery. Flip ball after. You see Chris playing very patient. Oh, but he gets tagged by the super dash.
He wasn't biting on that simplest stuff, but at the same time, he got put by the backdash. Yeah, he's just trying to hang back right now. He wants Supernoon to come to him and hang himself. He does not want to overextend anything. He's going to make him, he'll banish him to death if he has to. No reason to do anything else.
He's tagged by the Kamehameha. Chris was definitely just looking to buy his time for the Vegeta assist to come back, but loses the Trunks.
Uh-oh. Supernoon definitely with an opportunity here to turn this around. The momentum's in his favor. And Chris G does not want to get caught stand walking on the ground if he's too close to that 3M. Oh, that would have hurt so bad.
Oh, and he's super dash. Able to blow up the key blast. No meter remaining on the side of Supernoon. Chris has plenty.
Oh, okay. Yeah, that was...
Oh, dashes out and then try to stop him with a low, but Chris took to the sky.
That was,
eats it.
Okay, that might no meter to finish off, but he might be able to finish him off here. No, the damage is going to scale quite a bit, but gets him knocked down to the corner. Going to back off again.
Oh, he actually hesitated for just a second and opens him up with the low. Side switch, wants the corner. Gets the slide knockdown.
And Chris G in the tunnel.
Oh, he backed out the Dragon Rush, but no weak punish. Get the cross up!
Level 3! It's coming! Oh no, he spent the bar! Okay, got it anyway, Supernoon! Moves on to losers finals! Be careful, kid! Don't break your ankles!
The pop-off, an extreme pop-off for Supernoon, guaranteeing himself a top 3 finish.
Tell me about your team. Like, what's your team, and tell me why you picked it. And if it evolved in some way, explain that.
Okay, so my team right now is Kid Buu, Cell, Vegeta. But that wasn't my first team. Okay. So when the game dropped, I played Android 18, Kid Buu, Black. So like that team was pretty much just characters I liked, right? Yeah. Because in Dragon Ball, my favorite characters are the androids. Yeah, the androids, Kid Buu, and then I really like the Black arc. So I just picked all 3 of them, and they're all like really good. So it worked out for a while, and then I started I didn't really like Black and how he played that much for my playstyle. So then I picked up Tien because he did a lot of damage and he also had a good assist. And then Android 18 kind of started annoying me a little bit with how finicky her neutral is and how kind of how your spacing always has to be right, or if you're off, like the slightest things can punish you, like a super dash. So I decided to put Kid Buu on point, and then I picked up Cell and Vegeta. So that was the final build of my team right now.
Was Cell and Vegeta sort of like one of those things where you started to see other teams and you were like, okay, that makes sense?
Sort of. I always watch Goichi play a lot.
Yeah.
So after watching him play and his style and how he approaches the neutral and how he uses these characters and these assists, I thought Cell would be a really a perfect fit for me. Sort of, kind of coming from Marvel, I kind of see him as the Magneto of the game. He can do everything, and he plays by the rules of the game, but also cannot at the same time. So he can break the rules too. And then Vegeta is just a good assist. And then himself as a character can break the rules of the game too.
Oh, tell me a little bit about that, because a lot of people don't, all they know about Vegeta, most people know about Vegeta is he has a good assist, but some of the other players that I've talked to have talked about some of the other things that he brings to the table.
Yeah, so Vegeta, contrary to what people say, I think he's very solid by himself, but with assists he's even better. So the way I play my team is like certain matchups, I'll bring in Vegeta because his Ki Blast is really good and really fast, right? And he can shoot a barrage of them. And at any point, if someone super dashes through it, you could cancel into DP, which is something Goichi's popularized by now, right? So that's also good. And then the fact that he has the air DP too.
Yeah.
That's super strong, because if there's ever someone coming at you, super dashing an air throw, or like you escape Oki doing it too, so you don't have to like mash vanish or something else. You could have like a safer option, but it's still risky if you whiff. Yeah. Okay. And then on the ground, I think he has really solid ground game too. His normals approaching someone on the ground, I think, are really solid. It's just in the air is where I think he struggles with trying to air. Yeah, like his 5M and 2M are really good. And his 2H is also really good for anti-airing or punishing. Yeah. So I think his normals, contrary to what a lot of people say, are pretty good. It's just how you place yourself on the screen with him that's a problem, I think.
Yeah. As with many characters. So have you thought about, that's your current team, right? Mm-hmm. You got Kid Buu, you got Cell, you got Vegeta. Have you felt at any point like, I could make this team better? Like, are any other characters on your mind? Maybe some. Well, we'll talk about the new characters in a bit, but the current cast. Yeah, I mean, and they are the current cast now, but we'll talk about them more specifically in a minute. But have you over the last, I don't know, let's say 2 or 3 weeks or whatever, it's not been long. Yeah. Have you felt like this team, I'm going to stick with it for a long time, or have you felt like there's a weakness here that I need to fix?
There's certain that like you're talking about, there's certain moments where I feel like Kid Buu is just like, he's one of those characters where you always have to be on point with your spacing, because he's kind of similar to 18 in a sense, but he's a lot more lenient because his Oki is a lot easier and he's very easy to overwhelm someone with. Same with 18, but she always has to summon 17, and that's not always the like ideal situation for you, because you can't always like time it perfectly. Yeah. So with Kid Buu, like he has like the triple overhead series, or like 2M cross up in the corner. And his Ki Blast is also really good. He has like an air beam. So I think his neutral's really good, and all his normals are good. But the only thing where I feel like sometimes I don't want to play Kid Buu is like when I whiff a normal, because then I'm just out there forever and I could just get punished super easily, and has a ton of recovery. So actually, like after I played Leffen, because I played him in grand finals 1 week and he won that week. After I played him, it kind of opened my eyes to 21. And I was thinking about messing with her after NCR. Okay. Yeah. Okay.
So in regards to, like, one of the questions I usually ask is, like, is there a character out there that you feel like has more potential than people realize? I mean, clearly Leffen has realized that 21 is strong. Are there any other characters that you think are sort of being slept on a little bit?
Besides 21, I would say Kid Buu, for sure. Like, Goichi put him in his top 3, and that surprised a lot of people. But to me, like, I really do think Kid Buu is that strong. And I would say Ginyu as well. Ginyu is pretty strong. And Fat Buu. Yeah, Majin Buu as well.
I mean, Ginyu's his level 3 is ridiculous, really, when you think about it.
Because if you can get the right conditions to land it, it's pretty good.
Yeah, it's crazy. Like, if you can switch and give them a character that they just have no idea what to do with, that's amazing. Like, well, whatever. I think it's amazing. Let's talk about the game itself. When it was first announced, what was your reaction when you saw it? When it was first announced, you know, some people felt like it looks too simple, you know, whatever. Like, what were you feeling when you first saw it?
I'm a big Dragon Ball fan, so I grew up watching the anime when I was a kid. So I was really excited that there was a real like fighting game, or not real fighting game, but a fighting game developed by like a well-known developer. So when Arc System Works announced it, I was really excited, and I kind of always knew I was gonna play it.
Okay.
Yeah.
And as you have gotten deeper and deeper into it, and you've been playing it, and you know, obviously winning, what do you feel? What do you like about it? And what do you, I don't know, what do you feel you would like to see improved in the future?
So with the pros of the game, I would say that each character has a certain level of depth, and it goes very deep. So like with my team, I know there's still things that I can improve on and still implement in the neutral. So like the way each character plays neutral is really different. Now, Like some people only focus on like getting the hit and like setups and stuff like that. And almost every character, I would say, does almost the same thing, right? They're able to meet you and then call assist if they need to and get some sort of like 3-layer mix-up, right? And that to me doesn't really matter as much as being able to make decisions in the neutral with like the tools I have and like my movement options and stuff like that. So with what I would want fixed with the game is I think Vanish and tagging are two of the strongest options in this game, especially on defense. And for Vanish, like I'm not sure how many people are familiar with this, but I know a lot of tournament players are. But watching Vanish is usually plus on block, and that's huge because if you can escape a mix-up or neutral in a certain way and just steal a turn like that, that's huge. When you could be down and then you just make them block a Vanish at a certain angle, and then bam, you get a free turn, free mix-up, right? And then like tagging, I think there needs to be like some sort of like visual cue to it. Like I don't think they need to slow down the speed, but maybe like make the screen flash a certain color or like show a signal besides like the little banner, because I feel like tagging, like they're already on the screen when like the banner like shows them coming in or like it swaps, and there's no like cue to it. It just happens, you know?
So just to clarify on Vanish, what are you actually saying in regards to, you talked about like what it does, but what are you actually saying would change? Yeah.
I would say it needs to maybe be 0 on block or not plus.
Okay.
Yeah.
Just set you back into neutral.
Yeah, so that way it's back to a neutral position, not really like someone's more advantageous than the other right off for spending a meter. Because like meter in this game the game's very generous with how you get meter.
Yeah.
So like doing a block string, if like you use an assist, you'll probably gain a bar. So then, or if you're moving forward, right, you'll gain meter as well. So there's kind of like no point to not do it in the current state.
Okay. Now let me ask you about Shenron. You ever had a Shenron moment?
I have, yeah.
Was it on stream or no?
No, it's just like I was playing in a lobby with some friends, and I think I was down, and I had like, it's just one of those games where you're getting mauled, right?
Yeah.
And I had 7 bars, and I had Vegeta, and we had 6 Dragon Balls.
Yeah.
So I was playing the neutral, and then I got the hit, and I was like, all right, auto combo. And then we got the 7th ball, and I was like, all right, let me make sure I don't get hit. And then he like whiffed a DP, and I punished it with an auto combo, and just like summoned Cell, and then I won that game.
Oh my god, that's so funny. How did you feel?
I was just like, man, this is so random. Like, I can't believe this happened. Like, it's one of those things that like rarely ever happens, and then when it does, it's just like, man, like there's no way I can lose now.
That's so cool. So I mean, he's summoning Cell at the end of a game is gonna do some damage. Sparking. I want to talk about sparking a little bit. It seems to be like the thought about how to use sparking has changed quite dramatically in what 2 weeks, 3 weeks? Like
yeah, tournament to tournament basically.
Yeah, so it seems like now I'm seeing like everybody now is saving people with sparking as opposed to using it at the end. Do you have a philosophy on sparking, or is it just based on like whatever's going on in the game at that moment? Do you have do you have a set of rules?
Yeah, I kind of do, but at the same time it's very like free form.
Okay.
So the way I use sparking is if there's the number one thing that goes through my mind is what character is on the screen for me and them, right? So the matchup. So let's say I'm fighting a 16, right? To me, the core of most 16 teams is 16, and that character I just want out of the game immediately. For me personally, because I always find myself struggling against that character. So against that character, I usually bring in Vegeta, because I believe like Vegeta beats 16 or handles him very well. So if I'm in a situation where I have a good matchup, in my opinion, versus a character that is very high priority on like my list to get rid of, I'll blow sparking to stay alive or to kill them if I have the hit.
Oh, you did to kill him as well. Yeah. That's very Marvel, right?
Yeah, it's kind of Marvelish, but except in this game it doesn't last as long at level 1, right? But if it's at level 2, I think using level 2 and 3 sparking to stay alive or to get a kill is very strong, because they last significantly longer than level 1.
Yeah.
So level 1's very specific, because I feel like if you have a character that's super strong, so on my team I think my strongest character is Cell, in my opinion. So if Cell dies, I feel a lot weaker, because I can't like flow very well.
Yeah, sure.
So if Cell's dying or close to like or he's at like a risky moment, and I'm thinking about like their team and the composition of it and how it'll handle like Kid Buu Vegeta, I'll probably blow level 1 sparking to stay alive, and then kind of just like try and tire them out, because then it extends the game way longer than it should have.
Yeah. Okay. Let me ask you about Adult 16. The hell? That'd be one hell of a character. So Adult Gohan and Android 16, right? So from the outside looking in, me not being a pro player, looking at Android 16, and he's like, it's so weird that he's only a character with like a legit vortex. Yeah. And he's like, when you have 3 versus 1, you're still scared for the person with 3 characters, right? Adult Gohan is like, you block and you're screwed. Yeah. Like, blocking is not a good option. So do you think those characters are overpowered, or do you think that time will, in time, like, people are just going to figure out how to deal with these characters?
I think people are already kind of figuring it out. Like myself, like this whole week leading up to NCR, I was kind of training like block strings, and when fighting up real opponents, like trying to blow up their pressure, because a lot of the times when you're fighting a Gohan, you'll notice like certain players do it. Like Momochi, he staggers a lot, so he'll do like light and like 1-5 light into another 5 light, right? So like that kind of stuff you can reflect or react with your own jab, or like people stagger with like medium attacks as well, so you can blow up that kind of pressure. But then when they go into like true block strings, that's when you kind of just have to go in like the lab and practice blocking to a certain extent, because there's like fixed routes that they have to do to a certain point, depending on which character. So like my characters like Kid Buu and Vegeta, they crouch under EX legs, so I can get a full punish if they do that. So like their pressure always has to be gapless with assists. So I know to a certain extent when they EX legs on those characters, they just lost their turn and I get a free turn because I can punish it. So I feel very confident with those 2 characters on my team, because I can survive a lot longer than some other characters like Cell. If Cell's in, he's a bigger, taller character, right? So Gohan gets access to better mix-ups. Yeah. But then in regards to 16, with like the hard knockdown Oki, I feel like that's just a test of reactions to some extent, because you have to react. If he crosses up, it's a safe jump, so you can't DP. So you just have to hold that, right? Yeah. To some extent, rather, or risk reflect it, right? Or like if he walks up jab or walk up Dragon Rush, like you just have to be ready to react to those things. So I don't think they're I think 16's strong. I think he's stronger than a Gohan on Oki, but I think Gohan has better neutral tools. But I think they're both really strong characters, but they're not too broken. Okay, you just have to be able to train yourself to react to certain things.
All right, cool. Talking of broken characters, let's go to the other end of the scale. What's the worst character in the game, and why?
That is such a hard question.
I know, because it's a team-based game, but like you must have an idea of like 1 or 2 that where you're like, okay, these guys need something else.
I think Krillin's the worst character in the game.
Okay. Yeah. Well, lore-wise, that doesn't. Yamcha should be, but lore-wise, yeah, Krillin's probably down there somewhere. But
yeah, the thing with Krillin is like, even with assists, he's not that good. I don't think, because I play Toki every other week at Wednesday Night Fights. He's from San Diego, and he's really strong with Krillin. But the thing is, even when he hits me, I know he has to hit me like 3 or 4 times. And in a team game, especially like this, me having chances is not very good, because it just gives me time to like tag out or like vanish, or even like give me opportunities to like hit him, right? So like Krillin, he just hits me, uses both assists, and then he has nothing. Yeah, and even his like Oki game isn't that strong, because like one setup, like some setups he has are like, he like throws that rock move, right? And then he can meet you with it and then get like a high low or a throw. Like even that's not that strong, because you can delay wake up and it'll whiff. Yeah. And then like that's the only thing he kind of has going for him. And then even when he hits you, he doesn't do like that much damage either. Okay. Yeah, so I just think he's super weak. And then like even in sparking, he doesn't really get anything, especially. Like at least like a character like Yamcha, I think Yamcha's actually really strong in this game. But like in sparking, I feel like he's a really good character as well. And most characters become better because like they get access to jump cancels and empty vanish cancel too, and they get like real mix-ups, or like real different neutral options. Like Krillin doesn't really get anything. And then like I think he has good normals too, but he doesn't, like, he does nothing at all. Like he hits me and I'm not concerned.
Well, thank God he has a strong wife. Do you have a demon? Is there anybody who beats you all the time?
A demon. I would say right now it's Reynald. Yeah, Reynold. We had a session at his place. I want to say a couple weeks ago, and when I was there was just we played for like the whole day, and there was just like a solid 2-hour gap where I didn't win a game. Like it was just that bad, and like I sat through it, but like, and playing this game, like there's always a low moment I think for everyone when they're playing games competitively, and right there that was my low moment so far. Like I just sat there and I was like, I have no idea what to do. Like I can't beat this guy. And then after like I progressively learned more and more. But this past week he came to Wednesday Night Fights, his first one, and he reset on me in grand finals and won. So he's super strong, and he plays 16. So
okay.
Yeah, but he's super strong with all his characters, and he's like his spacing and his sense of when to hit buttons and just when to wait and do nothing is what really just like strikes me about him. Is like the fact that certain moments where I feel like the game makes you do something, he chooses to do nothing.
Okay.
Yeah, and that really throws me off because like it's just so. It's just like he's so in my head. I feel like at a certain point. Yeah. So he's really strong, and I always love playing against him because I always learn new things.
Yeah. Well, it gives you something to aim for anyway. In regards to learning, who's your talking of players that you respect? Who's your favorite player to watch currently?
I would say right now it's Goichi.
Okay.
Yeah, my favorite player is for sure.
Because he's the best, or because you're learning so much? Like
yeah, because the way he moves really interests me. So the way like it's the way just the way he plays neutral. Like once he gets the hit, you know, like anyone can do that, right? Mm-hmm. But getting how he leads to getting the hit is what really interests me. So like when I'm watching his cell, for example, like just where he chooses to air dash back or air dash forward or double jump, because at certain spaces that's when I'll notice like, or against certain characters at a certain point in the screen, he'll always backdash, or he'll choose to double jump, or like super jump fast fall, or just dragon rush, or like he'll just vanish out to get out, not to necessarily hit or get an advantage, but just to get away and get some space basically. Or like when he decides to call Vegeta, or like his combo routes and stuff like that. Like the way he has optimized his neutral just really interests me, and I'm still trying to learn.
Okay, so it's pretty deep stuff, fundamental stuff as well. Yeah. So when you were learning the game, did you have any moments where sometimes you have these moments where something clicks and you go, okay, the game is about this? Did you feel like you had any of those moments, or did you immediately pick it up and go, I think I can jive with this?
I think it was a mix of both. Like when I started playing, I understood system. I'm the type of player where I can pick up a game and understand mechanics and stuff like that very quickly, and see like what's strong about the game's mechanics and certain characters that go with it immediately. But for me, the breakthrough moment was learning how to move. So like in every game, I struggle with movement. So just like in Marvel 3 and MVCI, like they have different rules for moving. So like in Marvel 3, there was this technique called plink dashing, and it's basically you're canceling like a heavy attack into a dash. So you're canceling the startup and you get multiple dashes. And like MVCI, the characters I play have really weird movement options, like Vegeta. So he doesn't have a ground dash. He's always floating. Mm-hmm. So kind of moving with him is always a risk. And like learning how to mitigate that risk and when to move was something like the click. So for me, playing Vegeta kind of made me understand how to move in this type of game. Because air dashing to some extent is always a risk, because you can just get hit out of it by a random super dash or a key blast or an assist, right? When there's so many factors that could just wipe you out for having bad movement or not moving enough. So because I play with Apology Man a lot online. Yeah, he's one of my main trading partners.
Okay.
And when I was playing him, I just would watch him like kind of dance around me. Like the first couple weeks of the game, like he would just absolutely outspace me every time because I was just too slow, or like I would whiff here and there, and he would just always able to punish me.
Wow. So
after playing with him a lot, it kind of taught me sort of the rules of the movement and like when it's my turn and when it's not. So being able to move kind of helped me understand more of the turn-based system.
Okay. So many of those fundamental things people don't think. I say people, I mean like not the 1%, which is the competing in tournaments, but everybody else is so transfixed by combos. You know, they forget things like movement is so important. You know, like I've played games where I'm like, oh, I can't dash that well, so I always end up jumping. And it's like, you idiot! Like, learn how to dash, and then you have two options. You know, exactly. Like it's so silly, but it's so important. Okay, so talking of training, do you have a specific training schedule?
Right now, I would say my training schedule is very random. I'm in college right now, so I kind of just play when I can. So most of the time, I'm in class or studying. So most of the times, I just play. I just play lobbies with friends online. So like some people I play with are like Ringe and like Apology Man, for example, right? Because they play certain characters that I want to learn the matchup against, and that's kind of how I train. Like I'll hit up certain friends or certain players that play these characters, so I could learn these matchups, and I'll just play for a couple hours and then have different ideas about how to approach, and then like if I have time later, I'll go to training mode and record this team or this character doing certain options or moving a certain way or calling their assists or putting me in a setup and looking for gaps or somewhere I can get out or how to move around it, basically. So like that's kind of my training regimen is like I watch a lot. I watch more of this game than I play it, to be honest. So I'm always thinking of ideas of what my characters can do in this scenario, and then when I have time, I'll like take it to a real match or take it to training mode and then just practice the options that I have.
And what about talking of combos, the long ass combos, right, which include assists and all that special timing and all that sort of stuff. Is that something you spend time a lot of time training? Is it very natural to you? Can you see something and just do it? Like I'm always intrigued by that stuff because I personally am useless. Like I have to go in the training room and spend hours and hours and hours on combos.
Combos aren't really anything I've ever practiced, to be honest with you. Like really? I can just like, for example, I was at Wednesday Night Fights one week and I saw this cell combo. Like someone just did a random like super long cell combo off of like a crouching medium, right? And it killed, and it just only used Vegeta. So I had a match next and I was like, I think I could do that. Or I thought about doing it because I was like, man, that was super cool, and it killed. So then I did it like first try and I was like, yeah, that's super easy. So stuff like that I never really practiced because it's combos for me and like timing and stuff like that is always very easy.
Wow, you just made me want to quit playing. That's crazy. So let's talk about a little bit about pressure. It's one of my new favorite questions. When you find yourself in a situation like grand finals, you're on a stream, all that sort of stuff, do you have ways of dealing with pressure, or you're going to play someone that you've never played before, like Leffen or whatever? Like, it's probably, I'm sure it must be intimidating, or is it? Like, do you have methods of getting over the pressure, or do you just not? Are you just fine with it? So
for me, I always have this certain mindset whenever I'm competing, and it's just like I don't care about who I'm fighting. Okay. Like I can beat anyone. Okay. So I feel like that always takes me far, and the moments where I do crack, it's like I think about the result of the match. So whenever I go into a high pressure situation like a qualifying match for top 8 or grand finals even, or just like a really important match in the bracket that might even be early, right? I just don't care about the result. So like in a sense I go in not caring, but caring at the same time. So it's kind of a contradictory belief. And like basically I just focus on making the best decisions possible in the match, and not really focusing on winning or losing because it doesn't matter in the moment. Yeah, so that's kind of what I think about.
It's a good way to think. I think about the same thing when I'm interviewing people, to be honest. All right, so let's get on to some fun stuff. Are there any characters that are not in the game that you'd like to see in the game in the future?
I would say 17 for sure. And
which 17? The first one or Tournament of
Power? Either or would do.
Really?
Yeah, either or.
Okay.
Yeah, I just like 17. I think he's a really cool character. Okay. In general, but I like DBZ 17 more.
Really?
Yeah, I like DBZ 17 more.
Okay.
I like villains a lot. That's why.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Fair enough. So talking of villains, Broly was just released, and Bardock, who's not a villain. What are your thoughts on those two characters? Do you have thoughts on those two characters? Have you tried them out?
Yeah. I've only really played with Bardock for like almost a day, because I was focusing on training. But when I played with Bardock, I really like the character. Like I'm thinking about picking him up, like and playing him seriously, because he reminds me of Kid Buu to a certain extent. Where, yeah, he reminds me of Kid Buu in the sense of his pressure. So like when he makes you block, he's just able. His world opens up. Like he is just able to do so many things. Like him being able to jump cancel his Dragon Punch is so strong in neutral, because like if I Dragon Punch and you block or it whiffs, I just jump cancel and I can air dash back or air dash in, and that is so strong. And I feel like he's like Kid Buu, but without the factor of like if I whiff my like medium attack, I'm dead, right? Because like Kid Buu has like the long reaching limb with his standing medium, and like if I whiff that, everyone like can do whatever they want and punish me, right? So I really like that, and he's very rushdown heavy, and those are characters that I like. And he also has a level 1 invincible super, so that's really good to escape pressure.
Yes.
Yeah, so I like that about him. And then Broly, I haven't really played him that much, but I have seen a lot of like gameplay and like clips on Twitter. So I think he actually has like some strong neutral tools, but he seems kind of a very reactionary character and sort of like read based.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, like at least in the neutral, because when he touches you, like he just has these unblockable loops apparently. Yeah. I've only seen a little, so I don't know if it's like all real, but he has these like crazy loops and stuff. So that's cool, I guess. If I get touched, I lose. It's like Marvel 3 all over again.
Oh, good.
And yeah, but at least in the neutral, like him having that like armored tackle and just his armor not losing to lows is crazy to me. But it makes sense since it starts up later than other armored moves. So yeah, I think he's gonna be pretty wild and pretty strong.
Yeah, I thought High Fight's comparison between Abigail and Broly was hilarious.
Yeah, like I saw that too, and I was just like, man, not again, please.
Yeah. Okay, so there's been like data mining leaks. Like it seems like it's very possible that season 1 is going to be made up of the two characters we just talked about, Zamasu merged Vegito, base Goku, base Vegeta, Android 17, Tournament of Power, and possibly Cooler. Obviously, Android 17 is interesting to you. Do any of those other characters interesting to you?
I like Vegito a lot. Like I like fusion characters a lot. So like one character I really wanted to play when the game came out was Gotenks, because I really like fusion characters. Okay. But I kind of didn't like his moveset and just how he moves around and stuff like that. So I kind of like lost interest once I started playing with him. But Vegito, I think like the concept of him and just like his personality as a character is just really cool. So I'll mess with him for sure.
All right. So favorite Saga of all time?
Android Saga.
I thought you were gonna say that. Yeah. Okay. Now, general fighting games, real quick. Are there any games in the sort of coming out now or in the future that have caught your eye?
I was thinking about getting back into Street Fighter 5 because I did play it very competitively during season 1.
Okay. And
I played Mika, so like they kind of nerfed her, and I kind of lost interest. I was like, my character's not broken anymore. So, but I was thinking about playing Colleen or Manat. Like those two characters caught my eye, and they look super sick.
Colleen or Manat, yeah, they're very, very strong right now. I interviewed the Infiltration last night. Yeah, he's doing good stuff with that character, and so is Sako actually. All right, so general video games. Do you play other video games?
Yeah.
And what are some of your favorites?
I would say like my favorite series of all time is the Sly Cooper series, just 1 through 3 though. We're not counting like Thieves in Time. That game never happened. Okay. But yeah, Kingdom Hearts 2. Or just Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2. Those games are like they hold a special place to me. Yeah. And I would say I played a lot of shooters growing up too. So like Halo is like probably my favorite shooter. And just like general like platformers and like RPGs too.
The amount of people who are in the fighting game community who love Halo blows my mind.
Yeah. It seems like everyone I talk to, they just like somehow everyone had their hand in Halo. Yeah. At one point in their life, like
Snake Eyes actually played it at quite a very high level.
Yeah, I think he competed a lot. I've talked to him about it, but I don't know much about. He never talked about it that much.
Yeah. All right, talking about just your, I always ask about general life. What other stuff are you sort of like a little bit window into your life? Like what sort of things are you interested in doing? Like, because fighting games take up a lot of time, definitely if you're dedicated to it. Like, do you watch movies? Do you watch anime? Do you go out with your friends? Do you play sports? Do you like, what else are you interested in?
Besides college right now, I kind of like living college life, so I kind of just always I'm always hanging out with friends. If I'm not in my dorm, just playing fighting games, right? Yeah. Always trying to like just see like my favorite artists live. Like I really like going to concerts too. Okay. Yeah, so that kind of stuff interests me, and just seeing like live shows, and just always finding like new music. I really like art too, so like I really just like kind of like pastel colors and like bright things like that. So I always just try to find like new things to appreciate and new things to listen to.
That sounds pretty awesome. One final question: is there anything you wish I'd asked you, or anything that you've sort of felt like you want to talk about?
No, I feel like it was a great interview. Everything went well. Is it cool if I give some shout outs? Yeah. Shout outs to my sponsor, True Ambition. Shout outs to my mom for always supporting me when I was like 10, letting me go to tournaments. Shout outs to Kyle P, Jabril, Cole, Nam, my SoCal boys, always holding it down. Shout outs to Vae, Level Up Live, all you guys. Thanks for giving me the opportunity to just play every week.
And people can follow you at Supernoon, is that it?
The Supernoon is my Twitter. Yeah.
Okay, at the Supernoon. All right, well, it's been a real pleasure talking to you. It really has. And we'll say goodbye to these guys. Right. See you guys.